All right, let's call to order the Board of Supervisors for Warminster Township this Thursday, June 3rd, 2021. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'd like to have a moment of silence for all our brave servicemen and women serving overseas. Okay, thank you very much. We'll go right to announcements. I just want to say, I'll start first if everyone's okay with that. I just want to say we had the Memorial Day ceremony in front of the Township building. I thought it went exceptionally well. It was well done. Everyone did a great job. I want to thank our staff and Public Works and police and everyone else who was involved in the planning and of the ceremony. It was a great job, and I was happy to say, unfortunately, we couldn't have the parade this year, but at least we had the ceremony. We named everyone for the last 2 years that have since passed, and I want to thank everybody that was there and participated. That's all I have. Okay, sorry. Kathy.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I was going to comment on the beautiful ceremony. The musicians were phenomenal. You did a great job emceeing the event. All of our guests, including yourself, gave heartwarming stories about family members that were veterans. I believe it was a beautiful ceremony in honor of our fallen heroes, and it was everybody that participated. Big shout out. Thank you. That's it, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and just dovetail on you and Kathy. It was a really terrific event. Thank you to Karen Whitney and John Gruber over at the VFW to work hard to put that together. It really went off well and was really, really nice. I just have a couple others. As a Monday ceremony, I wanted to send along my condolences to the Fox family. Warminster lost a real good friend 2 weeks ago in Tom Fox. Tom was a real terrific guy, Warminster guy. We all know that his son Brad was murdered on duty as a policeman, and Tom's has dedicated the rest of his life to preserving Brad's memory through the Brad Fox Foundation, which Kathy and family will continue to do so, along with Darren Meehan and his group. And I believe the 5K is coming up, Steve, that they reached out to you about meeting to get that going for the Brad Fox Foundation 5K. But Tom will be sorely missed. I believe there's going to be a service for Tom on June the 14th. And the VFW has asked for donation, or the family has asked for donations to the VFW in lieu of flowers. And I want to thank former Representative Bernie O'Neill, who made a substantial donation to the VFW on Tom's behalf. So, Bernie, thank you. And again, my condolences, I'm sure, on behalf of the board and Township administration to the Fox family. Tom will be missed. He was a really terrific guy. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Mark. And that is on behalf of the whole board. And I believe we have an announcement about the Brad Fox run tonight. I believe that's tonight, isn't it, Steve?
I think we're going to have it's actually going to be September 18th, but Darren Meehan is going to be coming to, I believe, the next meeting. Catherine, am I correct? It would be the July meeting, and he's going to make a presentation.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. Okay, I think we might as well, how about you, Judy? We can't hear you.
I want to say how great the memorial service was again. It was really well run. It was short notice because we hadn't been sure for a long time whether we were going to have a parade or a service, and it was really turned out very well. And I thank everybody for coming. And that's all. That's all
Okay.
I have.
Mary, what's going on at the Parks and Rec?
I have announcements on behalf of Parks and Rec and on behalf of the Warminster Library. So I want to start with the library. They have an outreach free lunch program. The Warminster Library is excited to announce its outreach to the Centennial School District free lunch program this summer. The library will bring activity crafts, financial literacy packets, and other library resources for families to take home. The The library will visit one drop location per week on a Thursday, starting June 24th until August 12th, coinciding with the library's annual summer reading program. The locations will vary from week to week. For more information about this outreach program, as well as the library's summer reading program, please check the library's website. The summer reading program. The Warminster Library will also start its annual summer reading program on June 20th. The 7-week-long program asks children's birth to 12th grade to read and complete summer learning activities to earn virtual raffle tickets towards prizes. To register for summer reading, please stop by the library starting on June 14th or go online to warminstertownship.beanstack.org. For Parks and Rec, the annual Egg Scramble for children ages 3 to 10 are invited to join in the Easter in July. The annual Parks and Rec's Egg Scramble on Friday, July 16th at 4:30 at the Warminster Community Park. This event was postponed due to COVID, and pre-registration is required and opens online and by phone on June 14th. It is sponsored by Penn Community Bank. Our Rubber Ducky Regatta. Duck tickets are still available for purchase for the Rubber Ducky Regatta that had been postponed, and it is now scheduled for August 29th, 2021. The event will take place at Kemper Park at 1 p.m., where rubber duckies float to the finish line in the Neshaminy Creek. Join us for the Rubber Ducky Picnic starting at noon. Bring a lunch, and we'll provide dessert. Purchase tickets online or at the Park and Rec office. If it's not sold out, some may be available the day of the event, and that is sponsored by Quaint Oak Bank. More information for all programs and events is available at www.warminstertownship.org/special events. PRPS discount amusement parks and entertainment venue tickets. There are discount tickets. They are available for a limited amount of venues. Some tickets are timed, printed on demand, and printed home. A full list is available online. Week-long summer camps are now available. Parks and Recs is offering a series of outdoor week-long summer camps in a variety of themes: skateboarding, Jedi training, geocaching, robotics, medicine, arts with Crayola, and nature. Info and registration is also available online. WCP park improvements are still underway. The grant construction at Warminster Community Park continues, and we expect sections of the park will remain closed until the end of July. For more information or to see the map of the project, stop by Parks and Rec office at Warminster Community Park or call 215-443-5428. Dog licenses in Bark Park. The 2021 annual dog license can be purchased at Parks and Rec office Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pennsylvania law requires that all dogs over the age of 3 months must be licensed and have a rabies vaccination. 2021 Bark Park memberships are available. Virtual Bark Park orientation classes are held on the third Wednesday of every month. Please call Parks and Rec to be placed on the class list. There are upcoming new programs, so please check out the Township website at www.warminstertownship.org/special events for all the new programs that we are offering during the spring and summer, such as ballroom dancing, fencing, archery, summer camps, Medicare options, CPR AED training, tennis, chalk it up, popsicles with police pups. So the Friends of Warminster Parks fundraising for the Bankshot basketball. After receiving a generous legacy gift, the Friends are fundraising to complete the intergenerational all-inclusive Bankshot basketball program. For more information on this or to donate, please go to www.friendsofwarminsterparks.org. Our Hometown Hero banners are available. Friends of Warminster Parks continue to offer Hometown Hero banner program honoring our local veterans. Banners are displayed along Veterans Way in Warminster Community Park from April through December. For an application or more information, please go to www.friendsofwarminsterparks.org or stop by the Parks and Rec office. Some park reminders: the park is open from sunrise to sunset. After dusk, you must have a permit or risk being fined. Please do not feed the wildlife, especially the fox, the deer, and the geese in the parks. Supplemental feeding encourages wildlife to lose their fear of people and become dependent on handouts that are not part of the natural diets. Deer and fox in Warminster Community Park are having babies, so for your safety, please do not approach these animals. And for any additional information on parks, programs, or to register, please contact Parks and Rec office again at 215-443-5428 or visit the Township website again at www.warminstertownship.org/special events. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Mary. I think you covered quite a lot there. I just want to add, we had a great ceremony on Memorial Day, and there's a little bit of misinformation being bannered about on Facebook. This board, not one of us, chose or voted to not have a parade. There may have been a little bit of miscommunication between the VFW and our Parks and Rec people. I have the minutes from the March and April. The report submitted to the board saying that there was not going to be a parade because of a couple different things. Some illness for some people that previously ran it at the VFW and the pandemic. So that decision was made at a Parks and Rec meeting. So that's a little bit of misinformation being out there that this board decided not to have a parade. We would have loved to have had a parade, and we plan on having one next year and in the years to come. So I just wanted to clear that up. And the other thing was we had an executive session tonight. We discussed litigation, personnel, and real estate matters prior to tonight's meeting. Thank you. Okay, presentations. We have the first one is to consider approval of Pride Proclamation. And Steve, would you like to read that, or someone?
Be happy to, Mr. Chairman. We, the Board of Supervisors of Warminster Township, Bucks County, Pennsylvania, recognize and proclaim the month of June 2021 as LGBTQIA and Pride Month throughout the Township of Warminster. And whereas Warminster Township recognizes the importance of equality and freedom, and whereas we commemorate the events of June 1969 and commit to supporting the LGBTQIA and community, and whereas the Township of Warminster, LGBTQIA and community are a vital part of all fields and professions and contribute to a stronger community, and that now, therefore, be it resolved on this third day of June 2021, we, the Warminster Township Board of Supervisors, and the entire Warminster community proclaim June 2021 as LGBTQIA and Pride Month.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second?
Okay.
Any questions or comments? Any from the public? Catherine?
No, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay, so should we just have a voice vote? Okay,
Yeah.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And chair votes aye. The motion carries 5-0. Thank you very much. Okay, now, I think we've been waiting for this. I know Tim and I had spoken about this before. We finally got an opportunity to have Tim Hagee, the manager from the Municipal Authority, here to give us an update on what's hot over there and what we're doing. So, Tim, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, the supervisors, for allowing us to provide an update to the community. With me tonight is Dalton George. He's the assistant manager of the Municipal Authority. And since we've taken over stormwater, he is the head of that stormwater department, and he's going to lead off this discussion this evening.
Thank you, Tim. You can proceed, Catherine. Okay, so to get started tonight, I'm going to go through some administration and customer relations. The office lobby has reopened to customers, normal business hours, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. For any residents looking to switch to monthly billing, please call the office and customer service would be happy to fulfill that request. Please follow us on Facebook. We're trying to be a little bit more active on social media, and our tag handles at WMA Water. And please check our website for constant updates. And we're happy to announce a fun customer relations contest we did. National Drinking Water Week is the first week of May. And as you see on your right-hand side, Sophia Bush from Nativity of Our Lord had a great design for first annual Paint a Fire Hydrant contest. So our board and staff voted on 7 participants. and Sophia and her family will be painting the hydrant this Saturday. And the hydrant will be on display out front of our office for a full year until next year's National Drink Water Week. Next slide, please. As Tim had mentioned, the stormwater transfer has been finalized and in early April. This transfer is for the physical infrastructure of the pipes, inlets, and basins. Any violation of township codes or ordinances will still stay within the township, and we're here to assess the system itself. We're going to a three-step system evaluation. We're going to clean and assess every inlet and outfall in the township. We're going to establish a consistent maintenance program, and we're able to plan for future projects that way. As you see below, there's a lot of pipe, a lot of inlets, and a lot of outfalls. So this may take some time, but our most important objective here is to clean the system and to see what the system can operate while being fully functionable. Next slide, please. Part of taking over the system, we have a handful of emergency repairs. As you can see here, the inlet on your left-hand side is completely compromised. This was on Beach and Evergreen in the Speedway. And on your right-hand side is after our staff getting in there and making improvements. Next slide, please. And why the authority ownership? It's what we do. For 68 years, we've had pipe maintenance and improvement experience. For 68 years, we've had water testing experience with our own lab at the plant. For 68 years, we've had regulatory compliance. And most importantly, for 68 years, we've had a consistent funding source. Next slide, please. So the stormwater program will be funded by a stormwater fee. This fee will be used for the operation and maintenance of the stormwater infrastructure. Will be used for the regulatory compliance part of things with the DEP, and will also be used for capital improvement projects. Most of the fee will be calculated and determined on impervious surface calculation, less any credits for best management practices. And there are grants out there. We are currently exploring grants. But some grants, for example, are growing greener grants, green infrastructure, and grants hosted by Penvest. Next slide, please.
So I always like to lead off any discussion of the authority with water quality. And the Warminster Authority continues to provide a high quality water source to our customers, 90% of which comes from our connections with North Wales Water Authority, being produced at the Forest Park Water Treatment Facility. The 10% remaining is from our wells that we have treatment systems operational. An overview of the water and sewer system. Our operating budget this year is a little bit more than $15 million. We have an astounding capital budget of $13.6 million. Some of that is because we have some reimbursable grants with the National Guard and others, the United States Navy. Our water operations. We average about 3 million gallons a day provided to our customers. We have 3 of our 18 production wells in service with treatment. Sewer operations, our Log College treatment facility continues to operate extremely well. We have 16 sewer pump stations throughout the township that pump wastewater to the facility, and we average about 8 million gallons per day of treated wastewater returned clean to the creek. And you see there's linear feet of pipe. We did a little calculation of that on water and sewer pipe, and if you would put all the water and sewer pipe in the township in a straight line, it would run from Warminster to 25 miles south of Nags Head, North Carolina. That's how much pipe we have in the ground, and obviously it's important for us to stay on top of that. We're doing that. Next slide, please. Through our capital improvements, and in 2021, we are replacing aging water mains in portions of Valley Road, Clare Road, County Line Road, Bristol Road, Mearns Road, Ivyland Road, and Davisville. So if anybody's been out and about in the township, if they're not running into paving crews, they're running into our water main installation crews. We're also installing brand new water mains in areas that didn't have water mains in Old York Road, Hart Lane, Grammy Way, and a portion of County Line Road. Some highlights in the sewer system. George Fife, our wastewater superintendent, is overseeing the upgrades to our two of our big sewer pump stations, 8 and 50. 50 is a little bit smaller, but he's also doing a force main replacement for sewer force main 50. So that'll be brand new pipe. He also does 10,000 feet. It's a little bit shy of 2 miles every year. We're continuing to do renewal of our wastewater pipe. We have old clay pipe, and we slip line that from manhole to manhole, and it renews it as a plastic pipe. And the great part of slip lining is that we don't have to dig up the street, have construction issues within the community. So that's worked out very well, and we continue to renew our sewer system also. On the Air National Guard, we're doing a stormwater treatment system there. It's now called the Biddle Air National Guard Station at Horsham. Why are we in Horsham? We have the expertise. Frankly, we have the expertise to know how to remove PFAS from water. And this water that runs off the base leaves Horsham and almost immediately enters Warminster Township in the Little Neshaminy at levels that are many, many times higher than drinking water standards. So we are utilizing our expertise to do that. It's a $2.5 million project, and hopefully we have startup of that permanent system. We have a temporary system there now at the end of the month. Next slide, please. This is a map of our water system in the township. It shows all the streets and the pipes in the street. And the next slide will show what we've replaced, the old cast iron pipes that are aging out and are brittle. We have the blue highlighted pipes are ductile iron. And so in the last 10 years or so, we've replaced a good portion of pipe. We've had, I want to show this map to show what we've utilized funds that come into the authority for, and a good portion of that, it goes back right back into the community as renewing these pipes. Next slide, please. Our presentation will end on a nice note here. Our local politicians, our state reps and state senator, have put together legislation that they got passed by the state. The acronym is MIRIA. It's Military Insulation Remediation Infrastructure Authority. And what's important to the community is that this is an annually recurring funding source. Previously, the state reps had asked for money. It's a one-time provision, like we used last year for no cost for water consumption in the third quarter last year. We got a one-time grant, but this MIRIA grant, it recurs every year, and this year we got $2.375 million. And what it's allowing us to do is to connect private well connections that have contaminated wells to the public water system. It also allows us to improve the interconnections with North Wales Water Authority, since they're our main source of water supply now. And we also ran new water mains in Warwick Township in our service territory now in the Hartsville section. So those folks who've had contaminated water and have not got help from the federal government now have help from the local authority through funding that MIRIA provides. So this is a grand slam for us in the community to be able to provide some reduction in cost. We'll have some reduction in cost for water this year. and continuing to make improvements to the system so that we can provide quality drinking water to our residents. We'd be happy to answer any questions.
So Tim, I just want to, first of all, thanks for the presentation. That map looks great, that we've replaced a lot of the brittle iron with some ductile iron now. As far as the Myria grant, you did say that we will be seeing some reduction in cost for this year as well, right? Or is it next year?
This year also.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Thank you. And as far as the stormwater, I think we spoke about this for Dalton. You're going to incorporate the Environmental Advisory Council in that as well when you have your discussions?
Yes, I have been attending those meetings, and we will be using the EAC as a sounding board for the residents. So yes, we will be using them.
Okay, excellent. So I encourage the residents. I mean, I've been always, when I was the chair of the EAC, one of my goals was to get a lot of people to attend. So this will be a perfect format for people to attend and have participation in that process. So thanks again.
Hi, I'd like to say, Tim, I think the improvements, as you said, driving around, I see all the different work that you've been doing. You guys are busy beavers. Really, really happy that the Myria grant has been so beneficial to the township, to the Water Authority, and passing on the savings to our residents. I'm sure they're doing the happy dance right now while making improvements. Commend you for all the hard work, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for those kind words.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Certainly.
Yeah, I just had a comment and a question. The comment is that I really like that feature that you have that you didn't touch on with the new meters, that if there's excessive use, that you're able to call a ratepayer, a resident, and tell them, because I was the beneficiary of a phone call because I had a leaky toilet. But that's really a terrific feature and a service to the residents, you know. So that's really, really, really nice. So I encourage people, when the MUA calls, take the call, because they're probably telling you you're losing water somewhere. Not you owe the money. Right.
Yeah, thank you.
Right. But the other question I had was the stormwater fee. Any idea when that's going to be implemented? When we can see that? Expect to see that on our bill?
No, our first issue here, Mark, is really to assess the system and to see how big of rehabilitation we have to do. We got to clean the pipes out. We got to assess the outfall. So we don't know what that's going to be yet, because we don't really know how much work is needed to get that system up and operational.
How about MS4? Any movement on that? Or I know you just took this over recently. I'm just asking.
Yeah, our engineers working on the MS4 permit. So they're working on that. But I don't have anything further for you tonight.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you'll keep us updated as that moves along. And for those at home, the MS4 was another unfunded mandate given to us by our friends in the government that requires stormwater basins regionally be paced around the township at the expense of us, the taxpayers, local taxpayers. And I know we're way behind. We're way behind in the project, but it's good to hear that you're starting to work on it. So.
You know, Mark, and you know, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up about please take the call from the municipal authority, because that's a fantastic program.
Yeah.
You know, people wonder why their bill's so high, but sometimes it's because of a leaking toilet. But as far as the stormwater, from an engineering standpoint, I think their approach is ideal, because the first thing you need to do is, it's been neglected for so long. I know Tim, every time he goes to check an outfall, he doesn't even want to look in it, because it's usually collapsed or something. But you know, again, from an engineering standpoint, you need to get the system functional and then actually see how it operates, you know, when it's clean, and assess the functionality of it, so that they really do have a good approach, I have to say. You know, I think that three-pronged approach is well done.
Yeah, Tim, I just want to say how impressed I am with what you're doing and the expertise that you're showing us in this presentation. And I really think that the residents of Warminster appreciate what you're doing.
I appreciate that. And stormwater is a natural fit for us. The township's got a lot of different priorities, a lot of different people pulling different directions. With the authority taking it over, it's not something that it gets to the end of the project list. So it's going to be some pipe work. It's what we do, and we'll be able to fund that appropriately. And hopefully we'll see some improvements to that stormwater system quickly.
It's a great job.
Great. And just to reiterate what Dalton said, the enforcement is still with the township. Anybody that's filling in stormwater swales or impeding any type of stormwater, that will be enforced through the township. So, all right. Well, thanks, Tim. Anybody else have any questions?
I
It was a
just wanted
wonderful
to also
presentation.
echo-
Wonderful
ahead.
presentation.
I wanted to echo that the presentation was wonderful, and also congratulate Sophia Walsh for that hydrant painting contest. That was really, really cute.
Right. Excellent.
Thanks for recognizing her.
Absolutely.
I believe we recognized someone else too, didn't we, Dalton? There was a runner-up in that?
There was a first grader. I apologize that the name's slipping from me, but she had an excellent fire hydrant display. There were 6 fifth graders and 1 first grader, and she had an excellent. Please feel free to head to our Facebook page. They're all up there, and some really, really cool designs. So we're looking to build on that next year.
And I'll be freely admit this, that first grader could do a much better paint job than I could.
It was very well done. Yes. All right. Well, thanks, Tim. Thanks, Dalton. Appreciate it. We'll hope to see you, maybe in the third quarter. Give us another update. That'd be great. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's move on to land use matters. The amended final land development, I think it's 2021-05 for 430 York Road. Would that be Craig or?
I think the applicant's here, and I think the solicitor's office prepared a resolution. It's a very small amendment to the final approved plan for the Taco Bell, but I believe the applicant is here to do a brief presentation.
Okay.
Hi, this is Mike Malloy. I'm not sure if you can hear me. I'm trying to get my video started. For some reason, it is not working. But I'm from.
We can hear you, we just can't see you.
Okay, I'll keep trying while I'm talking. But
It's okay.
yes, we're here tonight on behalf of the applicant, Warminster Investors. Oh, there we go. This is great.
There you are.
Hold on. Wait one second.
You have 3 boxes with your name.
Yes,
You're open 3 times there.
Trying to exit
He's
somebody.
an important guy.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
one of them has left the meeting.
Let's see.
The real Mike Malloy, please stand up.
Now there's no Mike Malloy.
Okay.
I'm still, there we go. Okay. Hi, everybody. It's Mike Malloy from Obermeyer Webb and Maxwell Hippel. And yeah, I'm here on behalf of Warminster Investors LLC. And there was a resolution prepared, and we've reviewed that resolution and, find it completely acceptable. Basically, it's a realignment of a driveway. We're adding an additional drive-through lane in the Taco Bell at 430 York Road. And the review letters have come back, will comply, and we're ready for final land development approval if you are, and we're happy to answer any questions you have tonight if you have any about the application.
You received our agreement. You're in agreement with it, and we have no issues. We have no issues. Council action is, supervisor's action is in order.
And before that, I'll just let the board know that the Planning Commission did consider the amended application on May 25th. and it was a 5-0 vote. They supported the application, and that's why they're here tonight. We have no other issues. It was our office recommendation to process this as amended final land development. They did receive approval years ago. We have a few more of these are going to be coming through as people add the second drive-through. So this won't be your last application, which is an amended plan with the drive-through. I have no issues. I believe they are complying with all the township requirements, and it's ready for your consideration tonight.
Okay.
I just had one quick comment for Craig. I appreciate the staff and engineer and you, Mr. Malloy, and your group going back through land development and doing an amended final, because this is the right way to handle this. So there's proper records of this. So in the
100%.
future, when this board's gone, well, how did that other drive-through get there? Well, so we appreciate you going through the process the right way. Thank you. I do.
You're 100% right, Mark. 100% right.
Yeah.
That is exactly the way it should be done. This way, nobody can question anything. It protects everybody, and you're giving in this way they know what they're giving their approval of, and it can be traced back. So,
Thank you.
Okay, so what's in order? A motion to approve the resolution?
yes.
I'll make the motion to approve the resolution.
And I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Any questions or comments further? I have none. Any questions or comments from the public, Catherine?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so another roll call vote? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Kathy.
Muted.
You're still muted.
The drive-through hours, are they asking for an extension on that? Because
No, we had some discussion with the planning commission about that, but we went back and looked at the original approval and regrouped, and that's not on the table tonight. If we have some issue later, we'll come back and discuss that with you, but that is not part of this tonight. We're abiding by the original application
Okay.
and the original hours of operation.
Thank you for the clarification, Mike.
Sure.
Okay, that's it, Mr. Chair.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, so voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? And chair votes aye, motion carries 5-0. Thanks for coming in, Mike.
Thank you,
We
everyone.
appreciate, to Mark's point, we appreciate you coming in, doing it the right way.
And Joe DePasquale is there from
Thank you, folks. Appreciate it.
Joe, pleasure.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
guys.
See you.
Okay, appreciate it. Have a
Kira
great night.
Taco Bell, huh?
Okay. Public comment number 1. Any?
Mr. Chair, there's no comment in the room and there's no written comment.
Okay. Very good. Let's move on then. The consent agenda.
Move on quickly.
Yes. Okay, consent agenda. Let's consider approval of the Board of Supervisors minutes dated May 6, 2021. Consider approval of the Memorial Day proclamation, which Kathy read at the ceremony. Very well done. Consider County View Properties escrow closeout release of $3,691.76 from the legal and engineering escrow. Consider 911 York Road Lot 1 Assisted Living release number 2 from the escrow account in the amount of $76,955. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Mark seconds.
Yes.
Okay, any questions from the board?
No questions.
Comments? Any from the public, Catherine?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay. All right, so let's call a voice vote again. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. All right, finance report. We'll hand the reins over to Mary.
The approval of the bill listed in supplemental bill list. The bill list dated May 20th, 2021 in the amount of $1,293,044.57. And the supplemental bill list dated May 28th, 2021 in the amount of $539,475.89 for a total of $1,832,520.46.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Is there a motion to approve the bill list?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments? All right, so let's call a voice vote again. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Chair votes aye. That motion carries 5-0 as well. All right, John, you're up.
Okay, so before I get started jumping in some numbers, I do have a couple of quick announcements. Bobby Loftus, the tax collector, cannot be here tonight because she was in a tax collector meeting. And she just wanted to let everyone know that the end of June is the end of the face period for tax collections. So starting July 1st, there will be a penalty added if your bill isn't paid by then. The second thing is June 30th is the due date for the tax anticipation note that the township took out the beginning of January. We are set to pay that off at the end of the month. We have plenty of reserves, so we're going to be good for that. With the one thing looking into the future is we're probably not going to need it next year. Looking back at prior years, how much it actually cost the township, this year it's costing about $5,800. So this is going to be a savings in the future going forward, which is something to look forward to. The last thing is the financial audit.
Hold on a second, John. You're telling us that we won't need the tax anticipation note. Is that correct?
Yes.
Boy, that's good news.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no problem. And the next thing is the financial statement audit. We had the auditors in-house last week for 2.5 days. It looks really good. I'm hoping by probably the end of July, we should have financial statements issued and all that settled. So we'll be more up to date than we were in prior years, which will be good. I'm going to save my last thing till in the middle of the numbers, but looking at revenues compared to this time last year, we're actually starting to see some of the effects of the pandemic. Revenues are down $275,000 compared to the end of April last year, which is about 3%. The main thing is the business privilege and the mercantile tax that would have been due in this year for last year's revenues. That's where we're not seeing the money coming in the way we would in prior years. Earned income tax is actually looking good still. We're 142 above last year at this point. So that's still on the upward trend following historic trends. Another big decrease we have is in rental licenses. That's down 199,000 from last year. But this is a program that every other year every year they inspect apartment complexes. That's about $50,000 of revenue. And then every other year we do other residential, which is an additional 150. So this is an off year. It's kind of trending. It's pretty close to where it was in 2019. So every other year we are kind of following that pattern, but it just stands out when you look at the financial statements, a big $200,000 decrease in that line item. The good thing, so this is probably the best news I'll have for the night, is with the Financial Recovery Act that President Biden passed, it is trickling down to local governments. Warminster Township was awarded $3,385,000. We're going to get half of that payment this year and half next year. So it's just under 1.7 million this year and 1.7 next year. We are still waiting on final guidance of what the money can be used for, but the number one thing is to make up for any lost revenues. So we will be made whole on any of these losses we have off these business privilege and mercantile taxes. Some other things would be liquid fuels. That's going to be coming down. So some of these, and it's a 4-year project. So losses we have off that baseline of 2019, any kind of losses over that time period, we're going to be able to recover any kind of revenue loss, which is really great. Stepping on to the expenses, the good news is expenses are actually down compared to last year by 6% or 273,000. So we're almost, the revenues and expenses are both decreased by a difference of $1,700. So at least the expenses are tracking down the way the revenues are. Some of the big ones, I'll say real quick, the legal and engineering are down. L&I is
Didn't do
down.
that.
Yep. L&I is down, but that is directly related to the inspection fees because they get paid. Keystone gets paid off of doing the inspections. So since we're not doing the rental inspections, that means the expenses are going down. Public Works is actually down $17,000, which is very surprising considering there was no snow in 2020, and with all the extra overtime we had to pay in the beginning of 21, the fact is their operating expenses have been cut really substantial just because the overtime's up, so all the other expenses are down. And the other big line item that's down, it's just completely because of timing, is the property liability insurance. Last year we made the second quarter payment in April. We're going to be making that in June this year. So, is there any questions on the general fund? I am actually going to go into another fund in a second if there's no questions.
No, other than we're continuing to control our spending. And so what was $1,700 difference between the revenue and the spending in the general fund?
Yeah, revenues down 275,000 and expenses are down 273. So like $1,700. Yeah.
Right. That's exceptional because as we all know, we have to live within our means here. That went on way too long. The opposite of that. So well done, John. Thank you. And Steve and Bill and Craig and Randy as well, right? Right, Mark? Said it again, didn't he?
The averages are way down. I'm worried about them.
No comment.
Must be pro bono.
So the one other thing I would like to start doing is I will always talk about the general fund, but to start actually picking on other funds too. Every month, pick a different fund and see what's going on there. So I do want to talk about the GOF fund because there's.
Comment, could you hear me?
Yes, Kathy. Oh, you just remuted yourself.
Okay, I wanted to say thank you for telling us about the program with the revenues and that's helping the township with the COVID bills that we're having. I'm sure there's still more accumulating that we'll be sending in. But thank you for that bit of information and for the savings that you expressed with the tax and with that. So I do appreciate that. Any bit of savings and that we're cutting back on our spending, all good news. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So looking at the GOF fund, I think this is another area where we're seeing a big change because of the pandemic happening in April last year, and GOF had to be shut down before it picked up and skyrocketed. So revenues are actually up 182%,
Wow.
or $393,000.
Wow.
Expenses, yeah, and expenses are only up 6%, or $25,000. So the GOF fund is doing exceptional this year, even compared to last year. And if this trend keeps continuing, it's going to be a really good moneymaker. Compared to 2020, green fees are up 173,000. Cart rentals are 25,000, and the driving range is 40,000. So what I also did because of the pandemic, I did look back another year to 2019, and we're still above all of those revenues from 19 to 21. So the trend has been going up, and it's took a big spike from 20 to 21. The total revenue compared to 2019 is up 245,000. So the GOF fund has been operating pretty well, I would say, over the last 3 years of what I've looked at. So compared to budget, like I said, it's going to be really tough to compare anything to budget right now compared to last year. They're at the 26%, which right now we're 33% through the year. So if we're looking at it that way, but it's not golf isn't a year-round sport. It's about to hit the peak where it's going to go above budget. Then at the end of the year, start trending down to try and hit those marks. Last year, they were only at 9% of revenue. So we're looking really good. And the one thing to mention is in the 2020 audit that has started, after the capitalization of assets, the recording of depreciation, they still actually recognize a $608,000 profit, it looks like. So for as crazy as last year was, the golf fund still made $600,000.
It's good news. How much do they owe us?
We actually met with Mike, sat down and decided this month that they paid back $575,000.
Very good.
They go back to the general fund.
All right.
Okay.
And we came to agreement about what kind of cash level we want to keep in the golf fund. So every month we can reassess that and start getting on a regular basis repaying the general fund what's owed.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Good news.
That's real good news. And I, honestly, I credit a lot of this to Steve Wiesner too. When Steve was here the last time as interim manager, we worked with Spirit Golf and brought this to where it is now. Steve put all the cash controls in place over there, and a lot of that's thanks to you, Steve.
Well, thank you, Mark. We did do a lot of work there. Good. The team worked well together. Mike's team and John Ramey's taking it over from here and doing a great job bringing it forward. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and we do want to maintain a level of cash there because it is a really nice golf course, and we want to keep it that way. We want to have it a premier place, so it's a place to golf. And, so that's important that we do maintain a certain amount of cash in that fund. But it's also nice that we're finally getting paid back as well.
Yes.
So thank you.
Okay. And that's all I have for tonight. If there's any other questions.
No, John, I think some of the things that Steve and Bill have put in place we're starting to see some fruition there, some fruits of those policies, and we're going to continue in that, continue to implement these policies and get ourselves even on more solid footing. Nice to hear that the money from the federal government is going to supplement our losses, and we'll wait to hear the guidance on what we can use it for. But regardless of what the guidance says, we will spend it wisely. We will just not send it to the wind, so to speak.
Mhm.
So, we are a fiscally conservative board here, and we understand the situation of Warminster Township, and we're going to maintain that fiscal responsibility. So thanks, John.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Yep.
Okay. Was daydreaming. Unfinished business. Consider the resolution 2021-14 authorization to transfer $900,000 to the Bucks County Redevelopment Authority to acquire Shenandoah Woods property from the U.S. Navy on behalf of Warminster Township. This has been years in the making, and I'm going to turn the reins over to Steve.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will read well, first and foremost, Catherine, if you wouldn't mind putting up the screenshot of Shenandoah Woods. We'll just keep it up there for a minute. And then Catherine has her cursor, and she can outline the property with all of the homes, the former homes of the Navy on it, right in the middle. That is the property that we're talking about taking that she just outlined with her cursor. And this has been in the works for a long time, as the chairman has just mentioned. I'm going to read the proclamation, which has a lot of language related to the agreements. I used the exact terms that were in the agreements, so it'll sound a little rough, but I'm going to get through it. And if anyone has any questions, of course, when I'm finished, we can go over them. Whereas Warminster Township has entered into a cooperation agreement with the Redevelopment Authority of the County of Bucks to acquire a tract of land known as Shenandoah Woods, consisting of approximately 29 acres, more or less, owned by the United States of America through the Department of the Navy. And whereas Warminster Township and the authority have jointly negotiated an offer to purchase agreement for the property between the authority and the United States of America, acting through the Department of the Navy, for the purchase price of $1 million, And whereas in the year 2017, a deposit of 10%, $100,000, has been made by the authority to the Department of the Navy, consistent with the terms of the offer agreement above mentioned. Whereas in the year 2017, the township reimbursed the authority for the 10% deposit made by the authority, consistent with the terms of the cooperation agreement. And whereas the authority was successful in securing a Greenways, Trails, and Recreation Program grant in the amount of $250,000 from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, acting through the Commonwealth Financing Authority for the acquisition of Shenandoah Woods, the funds from which will be requested after the completion of the acquisition. And whereas the authority was also successful in securing an additional blight remediation program grant in the amount of $300,000 from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, acting through the Commonwealth Financing Authority for the remediation of blighted conditions at Shenandoah Woods property, which will significantly reduce the township's future cost to prepare the property for transfer. Whereas the closing on the Shenandoah Woods property is scheduled for June 16th, 2021. Per the cooperation agreement with the authority, it is required that we transfer the remaining balance of $900,000 plus anticipated closing cost, which the authority has estimated to be $6,500. And whereas the Township Solicitor's Office has reviewed the preliminary closing documents and will review all final closing documents prior to the June 16th, 2021 closing. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors of Warminster Township hereby authorizes the acting township manager to transfer exactly $906,500 to the authority after the completion of the solicitor's review of the closing documents and prior to the actual closing, to ensure that the authority has the necessary funds to accomplish the transfer of Shenandoah Woods to the authority. And that that is the completion of that resolution. It's been a long time, and the terms that I just reviewed were consistent with those agreements that the township had previously entered.
Okay, thank you, Steve. So I guess we'll need a motion to approve the resolution.
That is
Or
correct.
adopt the resolution.
Yes.
Yes.
So move, Mr. Chairman. Gladly.
Second.
Kathy seconds. Yeah, this has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
I know we've had there's been vandalism, fires. It'll be nice to get all those buildings removed. I know that some of that acreage that was highlighted in black is actually part of the Department of Interior, and they're going to transfer that, I believe, right, Steve? That's just a transfer of land.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman. The total property is approximately 55 acres, half of which is being transferred to the redevelopment authority to clear the buildings. The other half will come directly to the township at a later date as a public benefit conveyance and will be added to our park, Warminster Community Park. So you are correct, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And Mr. Chairman, if I may just make one other quick comment.
Absolutely.
I wanted to point out that partnering with the redevelopment authority has some great benefits. As we can see from this resolution, they've applied for several grants and have been awarded $550,000, which will come to which will reduce the township's costs. So those grants are directly to us by reducing the authority's cost, because our agreement is to pay the authority for all of the costs associated with the raising of the buildings. So it's a real benefit that we have working with the authority.
And on that, Mr. Chairman, I think it's germane to the motion. Could you touch on that real fast, Steve, how this process works? That the redevelopment authority acquires the property, they send a remediation out for bid, the remediation's done under their auspices, and then it's transferred to us, correct?
That is correct. Yes, Mr. McKee, just as you characterized it. We need the authority to do that work. that is what the redevelopment authority does. They're the experts in that field. So the partnership will benefit the township. Absolutely, Mr. Whitney.
Thank you.
Right. And then when that demolition and the land is reclaimed, then they will transfer it to us directly.
That's correct.
Yeah. So it does benefit us to allow them to do all that because that is what they do, and we don't. So yeah, that's a great partnership. Okay. Any other questions or comments other than thank goodness it's finally here?
Yes.
You should have a roll call vote on this one, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Okay. So is there any comments from the public, Catherine?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Let's have a roll call vote. Kathy,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Judy,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Motion carries 5-0.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah, it'll be a nice it'll be a nice, I think it'll be a nice enhancement to the park. And
Fabulous.
the last 56 acres of open space in the township, and it's right next to the park, and it can be easily incorporated into trails and a nice area to enhance the park. Okay. So now we have the review of Warminster Community Park change order regarding the basketball and the bank shot basketball. So I'll let you have the reins again, Steve.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Karen Whitney is here tonight. She's going to help present 2 additional locations for a bank shot program, and she's going to describe the program as well. She was received a donation from a person that uses our park, which we very much appreciate, a substantial donation, and then she parlayed that into an additional donation from the Friends of the Park to add this bank shot facility to Warminster Community Park. And I'm not going to steal her thunder. I just would like to say it's going to be a very nice enhancement as it helps for bringing those that might not be using a full basketball court. They can use this basketball court if they have disabilities and whatnot. Plus, it just looks like it's a lot of fun, so maybe I'd use it too. And with that, Karen, I'll let you describe the program or the facility and the locations. Karen, we can't hear you. Is there any?
Don't you love this? Okay, this is what Bank Shot looks like. It is a really unique program. It's been developed by Dr. Reeve Brenner. And the way the program works is it's more of a skill program. You play against yourself in the court. It is not a competitive program, which is really nice for people who might not be sports oriented. It is non-contact because you are playing against the court. If you can see some of the backboards here, they have funny angles. They're high, they're low, they're all different shapes. And the whole goal is to, as always with basketball, is to make a basket. But you need to have some skill. You need to think about physics. You need to think about math and angles and how things work. So it makes it way more creative and fun, and it is an all-inclusive program. Anyone can play, people with all kinds of challenges and disabilities, people in wheelchairs because there are high and low baskets. It's just a really interesting and unique program that we have found in the area. Right now, there is only one other one that we know about, and that is located in Lansdale. They are in the process of putting it in. But their program, we were able to get this included, one, because we've got this wonderful donation from a resident of Ann's Choice, Greta Yaden, and then we were able to match her very generous donation with funding from the Friends of Warminster Parks. And that kind of pays for the whole bank shot program. And then we just had to figure out where it was going to go, which I understand the board has some choices. So, Catherine, if you'll just pull up those two, the map with the choices. So the first choice, from what I understand that the board's looking at, is in what we call the game triangle, which is located between the basketball courts that are proposed and Safety Town. Thank you, Catherine, circling it with her little pointer. This area, we had originally thought that this would be playground games, things like hopscotch, Gaga, the Gaga pit that it was originally there, Foursquare, those types of games. And then the other location would be over between the brand new parking lot and Safety Town. This is a little bit bigger area than what the triangle is, which would allow for us to have an expansion if bank shot could, if it takes off and is really popular. Right now, we are getting what is the smallest bank shot court, an eight facility court. And they go up to like 20 different bank shot backboards. So this would give us, if we put it here, this would give us a lot more room to be able to expand. The other issue is, sight lines from parents, if they're using Safety Town, if they're using the playground, if they're on the basketball courts. Sight lines are a little better in the triangle, but I think you would have the same kind of access if you moved it over a little bit to the other one. And it can go anywhere in that big square. There is handicap parking in both of them. So it's really a choice that the board will have to make. Does anybody have any questions?
Mr. Chairman, if you'd like, I can. The donations that were received will, correct me if I'm wrong, Karen, pay for the physical structure, pay for the bank shots, pay for those, not the preparation of the court. So the reason that there's a change order that needs to be accomplished to move it there is that the ground needs to be prepared. So we want to make maximum use out of this donation and place it in the right location. But we'll still need a change order to make sure that it can be put where one of the two places that Karen has just mentioned. So we're proposing that a change order would be in order. We don't have all the details yet on that, but we'd like to move forward on it. So a motion would be in order if the board is in harmony with how Karen just presented that, to prepare that spot. I think Karen's recommending that we move it to the far side, but either side, as she said, we can make work. And it would be not to exceed $50,000 to prepare the land for it. Karen, did I say that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, can I add to that, to Mr. Wiesner's?
Certainly.
The reason you're seeing this now and not any more detail, we have at staff level, along with Karen's team and even Steve's team at the Township building, trying to get estimates, trying to pull all this together. So there's no delays with the contractor. We did get unit costs to see where that came in. I think Public Works is also going to help out with installation. So we kind of put our heads together at staff level and said, if you are okay with the concept and everything, everybody's in favor of it, it appears. I've got no negative feedback. I'm pretty sure Karen and Steve have it as well. So we're ballparking no more than $50,000 for construction costs. You will have some services from Public Works that need to do it, help out as well. Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry about that.
Need to take a break, Craig?
Yeah, sorry about that. I lost my voice.
That's all right.
Steve, you're gonna have to finish.
Okay, not a problem. So I think what Craig is trying to convey is we're going to use whatever resource we can to keep the cost as low as possible. We hope that the change order would not exceed the $50,000. But we need to order the bank shot facility as soon as possible so that we can get it incorporated within what Miko is doing out there. So I believe that's what Craig wanted to convey. Is it?
Yes.
Nod,
If I can
Craig.
continue. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we don't want to have any delays with the contractor and just want your approval of the concept and the cost, and then we'll move forward with the final details and work with Karen's staff on that. So we just don't want any delays, again, with the construction, what's going on right now.
No, because to bring someone back to remobilize anybody would quadruple the cost. If Miko's gone and we have to bring somebody back in to do this. So, and I understand there's like I think Karen told me there was an 8-week lead time for the bank shot for the baskets and all that stuff, the backboards.
That's correct. That's correct.
Right. So,
And it may be, excuse me, it may be more now only because of the situation with steel and everybody's having difficulty getting product.
right.
So we'll see.
Across the board, right. Well, let's have a motion first before we get into some of the discussion here. So is there a motion to approve the change order?
I'll move. I think it's a wonderful project. I think we really need to do more to make our recreation and park more accessible to impaired children and the people that can't ordinarily use it. And I think it's a great project.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Not to exceed $50,000, correct?
That's correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Now,
That's my
okay.
motion.
So and Mary seconded it. So on top of that, I do understand that there's been some other change orders that are in our favor. So the $50,000, we won't exceed that, but it'll be significantly under that because of some of the great work that we've done. And there's some money left over, I believe. Right. So while in change orders in our favor, we'll call it. This is another enhancement to the park, and I know originally Karen was talking about removing one of the basketball courts. Me personally, I think that if you ever want to have a really nice tournament, you'll need at least 4 basketball courts, and why not just add this as an enhancement and make it better? But I wasn't aware when we originally picked that spot, Karen, that that was already designated for other type of activities by the basketball courts. It just seemed to make sense to be there and have it fenced. It may make more sense where you're proposing it because you won't have basketballs flying in from people that are actually playing basketball, and there's going to be younger children in there. There's going to be possibly people with disabilities, and maybe flying basketballs out of bounds would be a little dangerous where we originally proposed it. So I can see where your proposed location, the new one in the triangle, would make sense.
Would it be okay if we worked with Craig's staff and just looked at both places a little bit more deeply and just checked out which one might work best for the whole program?
Mhm.
Well, that's what I would hope. My hope would be that the staff and our professionals would pick the optimal location and not just pick a spot for the sake of picking a spot.
Great.
I agree. If the spot that we were thinking about is not going to work, Karen, the original spot is better. Whatever you and the staff come up with, we'll work with you.
Great.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Catherine, from the public?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so should we call a roll call vote on this as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And part of the motion, you've amended it to, the spot will be determined by the staff, the professional staff working with Karen to decide the optimal spot for it.
Right, and the motion also is not to exceed $50,000.
Correct. Okay. Those are the
Which
two provisions.
that money is actually in the debt service. There's wiggle room in there for this park enhancement. It's a $5 million project. This is about 0.4% of the total overall cost to enhance the park project. I think my personal opinion is it's well worth it. It's value added. So let's call the question,
And
Kathy.
Mr. Chairman, you'll be able to finally dunk a basketball.
Yeah, well, I used to be able to dunk a volleyball, but my vertical leap now is about 3 inches with my knees and the condition they're in. I could never palm a basketball, so I couldn't quite get that, but a volleyball was okay. So, yeah, you'll have to really, really lower it for me.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, let's call the question. Kathy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. The motion carries 5-0.
Wonderful.
Karen
Thank you
and
very
Craig
much.
and staff, and yeah, let's work together and find the best location for the site. And I really do believe it's going to be a nice enhancement. And this will be the second one in the second one in the area, which is a nice attraction for the park. Another nice attraction for people to come to the park. Okay.
Thank you, Karen. And Karen,
Thank you.
one more thing, Karen. Thanks again for putting the ceremony together last Monday. You did a terrific job along with John Gruber. It was really good. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Well done. Okay. New business. I don't believe there's any new business. All right. Let's go to the township manager's report. Steve Wiesner, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe you have all the reports in your packet. I'd just like to make mention from a human resource standpoint, Catherine's office has been working very hard. We've been making some changes over at the library to add some pages. Now, the budget for pages is not by people, it's by dollars. And we need those pages to fill in and make sure we keep everything functioning over there. There was also a promotion at the library just recently. And as mentioned, or I'm not sure if this has been mentioned at a public meeting, we are looking for a library director. Tracy has left the township. We're sad to see. She's taken a position in Montgomery County. So Catherine has prepared the advertisement for that position. Other than all of the normal duties that happen in human resource, which is a lot on a monthly basis, those are some of the larger ones. Karen has mentioned a lot of the things about the park. I'm sorry, actually, it was Mary, I believe. Mary had mentioned all the things that are happening at the park. But Karen's staff has been working very hard with the developer or the contractor at the park, and they're going to be doing work at the entrance along Bristol Road. And Karen has brought to our attention that we're going to need to make sure that we somehow gate that facility. So we're going to work, Karen's going to work hand in hand with the public works crew to see how we can get those gates moved down so that they can do their work on the HOP permit at that entrance. We'll keep Craig's office in the loop on that as well. Make sure we're doing everything correct there. Andrew, our new public works director, has been very busy as well, keeping the road crew busy, patching curbs damaged by the plowing and seed grass areas as well, and cleaning up facilities, the pool site at 901 Bristol Road. So other than that, that's those are the highlights I wanted to bring to your attention.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. Any questions or comments for Steve?
Thank you, Steve.
Okay. Solicitor's report, Mr. Flagger.
Mr. Chairman, supervisors, we have nothing further to report other than the report that we sent out previously.
Okay, thank you. Last but not least, Craig Kenner.
Let's see if I can make it. I apologize. I didn't take my allergy medicine today. We did go over the park project. I want to say, Mr. Chairman, you mentioned about a little extra money from change orders. We're keeping a running tab of that. So the board hasn't approved any change orders yet. To be honest with you, the park project is going very smooth. The change orders are so minor. I say minor compared to the cost of the project. The contractor's willing to work with us. You're in the plus a little bit. Hope to continue that and you have some extra money at the end. So you have the same thing with the road program. That's gone really smooth. My bills are down because when there's no issues, we're not involved. And I really mean it. You have multi-million-dollar projects going at the same time that we're managing, and they're going really smooth. And that has to do with our staff or my staff, your public works. Andrew's really stepped up right in the middle of everything and helped out. Great communication with my guys out in the field. And then Karen's team out at Park and Rec, Kathy with my staff again. It's gone really smooth. I'm really happy. I was very nervous at the beginning of the year. You guys didn't know it, but I have them both going at the same time. Could have been very costly on the soft costs. And, I'm really happy things are going the way they are.
Yes, I did notice, Craig.
Yeah,
I did notice.
The road program is going to be wrapping up for a portion of it, probably the next 3 weeks. And then they're going to remobilize probably in September or August, September to finish the authority project. So they brought in a second crew. They went hot and heavy. I mean, it went really quick. So they're thinking about another 3 weeks, plus or minus, and then they'll be back to finish the project or some stuff with the authority on their end. So if you don't see activity for a while, there's still things going on that's related to the Warminster Authority project.
And by the way, not only did the staff and our professionals do a great job, but there's also a benefit to using a responsible contractor, because both Miko and Morrissey have done a fantastic job. They work with everyone, and they're all well-trained employees to do a fantastic job. Thank you.
Just real quick, on the land development front, we had our Nifty 50s pre-construction meeting last week, so you'll see the Nifty 50s restaurant over in York Road, across from Marsh Bishop Wood High School, in the parking lot there. They'll have a pad site, and you'll see construction with that starting soon. Chick-fil-A will also be in the CU probably in another month or two. They also want to add a second drive-through. And then we had a couple applications where I anticipated we did a review. The other professionals did a review on a couple smaller projects, and they decided to clean up their plans before they come back and present to you. They have some issues or zoning issues they want to work out. So a couple of them fell off right now. The one big one will be the single-family residential community at the Pine Grove Cemetery. We're currently reviewing that. I did mention that project before. I don't have the exact number of units, might be about 40-some units. We're doing a sketch plan review, and then they'll decide whether or not they want to come in and do a presentation, which I recommend they do for a project of that size to present to the board.
Okay.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Thank you, Craig. Any questions or comments for Craig?
Thanks,
No?
Craig.
All right. Announcement of upcoming agenda items. Mr. Wiesner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Two items I'd like to bring to your attention that will be coming up: the consortium fuel bid that we usually participate in and hope to expand this year to also include the golf course. And Shenandoah Woods, in all likelihood, we're going to start working with the solicitor's office and the Department of the Interior for the conveyance of the remaining property. I don't know when that will come to the board, but it will be coming soon. We're going to start working with them next week. We want to get both of those properties at the same time. It benefits the township.
Okay.
Or as close. They won't come at the same time, but as close as possible. It may take a little time to get that second parcel, so that's why we're going to start working on it now.
Okay, excellent. And I understand your staff is diligently working on getting our application for that federal COVID money, so to make sure we submit it to the state on time, correctly?
Yes, absolutely. Catherine and John have both gone through it. They had us ready to go with it, so we haven't pulled the trigger yet. We want to make sure we go through it meticulously. But John's already gone through the whole process, and John, correct me if I'm wrong. I think looks like it's going to be relatively easy to get everything processed through the DCED. We don't see any hiccups coming.
Yep.
John?
Yeah, everything looks good. We're just waiting on some signatures on a couple random things.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, we will need your signature on an item when you're back in the area. Please stop by for that as well.
Will do.
I don't know when you're scheduled to be back, but as soon as you are, stop by, please.
Monday. I will be there Monday.
I think that'll work, right, John? I think we have till Tuesday. We actually
Oh,
do
excellent.
5 days.
we have more time than the 5 days. But, you know, I think we might as well file in the 5 days because we have everything in order.
Right.
But in all likelihood, it would have been fine to go longer. But John and Catherine have done a great job getting us up to speed on it. So we might as well just get it all filed.
Steve, why don't you
Yes.
take a ride down for the weekend? Ken's got plenty of room. He'll put you up.
Yeah, that's right. Come on down.
All right.
He'll put you
Get
work
courier
at the house.
service.
He'll put you to work
You
at
better
the
be-
house, too.
You better be careful. I love
Work,
going to
that's
the
right.
store.
Can I
Now,
ask
if,
a quick question, Mr. Chairman, are we doing the first or the third meeting in July? Have we determined that?
Oh, you know what? That's
A little bit
a good
about
point. Yeah, we did. Well, the first week, I believe, is the 4th, right?
It's the 4th of July week. We talked about it last week. I don't know if the decision was made or.
No, I think
You
we
can do
can
the-
move it to the 3rd week.
You can do the
if
second.
Board has no objections to that.
Is it possible to do the second? We have a conflict on the third, although we have enough people to cover them all. It doesn't matter.
Totally up to you, Mr. Chairman. Whatever you guys.
I don't care.
I'm
We can
okay
do
with the
either one.
second week. It doesn't, I mean, if the board has no objection, I like our solicitors to be here at these meetings. It's very important that they are.
I agree.
Wouldn't be a gig without Randy.
You have nothing to wear.
All right.
So if there's no objections, we would make it the second week. Is that okay with everyone?
Okay.
The only challenge there is are the person that makes sure these meetings all happen is on vacation that week. So we will have to have Catherine train someone else. We will make that. She needs that time off. She's not coming back to the township. I told her she's got to take it. So we'll figure out another way, but we can shoot for would be the 8th, I believe. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Catherine, please take vacation and come back well refreshed. It's well deserved, your vacation, for the job you do.
I'll try. My best friend's getting married, so
Oh,
Cool. That's great.
so you'll come back a little tired then.
it'll be nice. It'll be a nice trip.
That's right. Yeah. Well, you'll enjoy yourself. All right. Well, I'm fine with that. We'll make it the second week in July. Okay. So, is that it, Steve?
That's it. Yes, I believe so.
Okay. So I think we have our second public comment. Anything?
No, Mr. Chair.
Wow. How about that? Okay, let's move right along then, again.
Quickly.
Supervisors' comments. I'll go with Kathy first. You're muted again.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to thank all of our staff and all of our professionals and our fellow supervisors for a very productive meeting tonight. It's great to hear of all the cost-saving initiatives that are being done in the township on a federal level, on a state level, on a local level, and with reducing our spending, we are starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel. It's very, very refreshing to see that. Also to see all the nice projects that are going on at the park. It is the jewel of Warminster, and Karen and company do a phenomenal job over there. I love the fencing that Miko is doing. It is beautiful. Anybody gets a chance to drive by there, take a look. It looks great. And also with Shenandoah Woods. So thank you all for a very productive meeting tonight. That's it, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Mark?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know earlier when John was giving his presentation, I'd like to make some fun of you guys, but I think you guys do a terrific job. Randy and Craig, you guys do a terrific job. And I want to thank Randy for the swag. He was so gracious to mail me after the last meeting. Fits perfectly, buddy. Looks great. Glad to advertise for you. Flagrant Associates, if you didn't see. And I noticed Kennert's got some Gilmore garb on there.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to steal your thunder. I set you up. I've had this shirt for 10 years.
Oh.
But every time I wear it, a certain supervisor asked for one. So I put it away, but I know Flagger was going to have his stuff on, and you were, proud to wear it. So.
All right.
I'm
So if
going
you send
off
some
on
of that stuff my way, I'm glad to advertise for you too.
Yeah, just for the record, I just mailed it out to everyone, I mean, I didn't wait 10 years, and I don't have any stories.
Hey, Mark, we'd be happy to wear Gilmore and Associates swag too, right?
Absolutely.
Right. Even if we're down the shore, you got a Speedo or something for us, whatever you got.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
we don't have Speedos at our stuff, but if you wear one, we'll get one made and sent to you.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I believe you will. Don't. But
Oh,
yes, thanks,
boy.
Randy. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. We're in good health.
Thank you.
That's the important thing.
Yes. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Judy.
Okay, the Ben Wilson Center is open, not every day, but it's open from 9 to 3 every day, but Thursday, I think it is. And they are reaching out to people who played before, who played mahjong, chess, pinochle, and bridge to come back in. Those games, they're ready to play again. The travel club office is open, and they're now accepting reservations for all their September activities. And they have a lot of stuff going on in September that you can sign up for. Check their website, bwsac.org. And everybody have a nice month.
All right, Mary.
I'd just like to remind everybody that things are returning to normal in the area. And as we mentioned earlier about the profitability and all the good things that are happening at Five Ponds, that people can schedule their banquets and parties there and have everything still within the township. They do a wonderful job there. And it'd be good to kind of get out and, mingle with your family and set something up there. Just also remember that kids are out and people are out more often. Just be careful driving the streets of our township and please stay safe. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome, Mary. Yeah, and to enhance that, not only the park, great park project, and not only the golf course, but all our local business people could use a shot in the arm as well. And as we return to normal, I encourage the township to go out and support your local shops and restaurants and everything else. So they can all use a little help. It's been a rough year, and things are starting to get back to a semblance of normalcy. And I appreciate it down here as well. Our business people support us down here for the same reasons, and I'm hoping to get back to Warminster on Monday and support some of our local businesses there as well. Oh, and by the way, Steve, if you need me if it's important that I be there tomorrow and I can get away, I'll certainly come up tomorrow and sign those documents.
Oh, that'd be great. Yep,
Okay.
that would be great.
Okay. Other than that, everyone have a great rest of the month and stay safe. And I'll have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Very
Thank you,
good
everyone.
meeting.
Good
Thank you
night.
very much.
Thank you. Have a
everyone.
good night.
Thank you.
Good night.